We all know someone whose life has fallen apart and the bottom has dropped out. And if there is not support there for that person, that you can find yourself in a downward spiral into homelessness.
These are people that have lost their job, got laid off. These are people that are not bums.
A lady from Beach Street, she come out there and talked to me, and she's been offering help, with what's going on. I've been looking for a job. I hadn't found a job. I'm just, I'm struggling.
Most of our moms are very independent. They've lived independently. They have struggled trying to maintain their housing for many reasons, often an illness, either their illness or an illness of their child.
Everybody is one step away, one paycheck, 1 hour, 1 second, 1 minute away from being homeless, because I never thought with the money my husband was bringing in that we would ever be in that situation, and there we are.
I met a woman who was a fairly high executive with the company. She lived in another state. She moved here to basically pursue this dream of expanding this company. And about 2 weeks in, she found out that her boss, he was in some financial trouble, and he basically created this entire facade of expanding this company to gain more resources so he could come here and basically take some startup money and just dissolve the company. And so this is a woman with bachelor's, master's, PhD, who wound up homeless here in Atlanta just simply because she didn't have any family.
We find families that are under severe stress. In some cases, we find that they're living in extended stay motels. In some cases, we're finding that they are on the verge of homelessness due to one job being lost or a car out of repair. They're at a critical point.
The good news is we do have a continuum of care here in our North Fulton community, whereby we all look out for each other and we all feel a need.
We'll contact Beats the Streets as a means to find resources to help folks, finding programs for people with substance abuse issues. Sometimes it's helping someone that's had an issue with domestic violence, and we want to find those resources for the folks that they can get out of a place that they're not safe.
There's different tents set up at different places, so they're camping too. So we go out and we have a big bag of hope. That's how we start. And it's a tote bag, and it's filled with non-perishable food items, first aid supplies, and hygiene products.
North Fulton Community Charities sees families who need some emergency help, food, clothing. We do financial assistance. We see over 4,000 families in a year's time where something has happened and they just need a little help to keep going. Our goal is to keep folks from becoming homeless and keep them going in their homes and work on whatever barriers that they have that keep them from becoming self-sufficient.
The key is to build a broader support for solutions around homelessness, to identify those families that are under stress, get them assessed, and get them services that hopefully can provide avenues out of their situation.
There are a lot of ways that folks can help. You can advocate for affordable housing, for increased bus routes so that families have more choice when it comes to employment or housing. You can volunteer at most of the agencies that are supported in the continuum of care. We need to remember that we're serving our own community, we're serving North Fulton, and there are opportunities for hands-on right here in our own community.
Someone comes along and just speaks to you, and they look you in the eyes and they say, I want to know about you, tell me your story, I value you as a human, then people light up, and these pieces of encouragement, they just turn into building blocks. And then from there, once they have momentum and you say, hey, we're gonna help you with that resume, we're gonna help you figure out how to take your strengths and turn them into something that you can use for yourself. It's amazing how people are able to become self-sufficient again.
One step away from something that is tragic for our family or those around us, that could result in homelessness, that could result in severe stress on the family. We're also one step away from helping. I believe. And I think a lot of that has to do with staying in touch with those organizations that we're a part of to help to recognize signs of families in stress. And it could be our neighbors. It could be others that we associate with at work or socially. I think being one step away from helping is just one step away from being of impact.